You are so fucking welcome for Super Mario World.
Aw, fuck yeah.
You welcome to some straight up Gamer-Melbeast time.
Yeah. It's not that we don't want to play with Tim, he's just not here right now.
Yeah, so we're just shooting shit and blowing off some time until he gets here.
We're gonna do some more Undertale tonight, but we can't do it without Tim, that would be wrong. So in the meantime, we're gonna do some Mario and Luigi action. We're just gonna fucking, you know, play some fucking Super Mario World.
Okay, so do you want me to go for the Switch Palace, or?
I have no preference. Whatever floats your boat.
Uh,
I love every aspect of this game. I will do whatevs. So we actually were recording a playthrough of this previously, but then we got new microphones. And also, a party kind of happened.
so a lot of it just ended up being entirely unusable.
Yeah, I mean, we had fun, and if you're the kind of person who likes hearing 10 simultaneous drunken voices laughing and talking all at the same time as we die over and over and over again, then I don't know, maybe we'll release that footage someday, but I have a feeling...
Oh, I just got rid of all of it.
Okay, never mind then, it's gone.
You'll never witness this footage,
It's
ever.
gone forever, and nothing of value was lost.
Oh no, give me a fucking, yeah. Farm lives so hard.
Yeah. So, this is one of my favorite fucking games, like, of all time.
Yeah. I feel like this is definitely a good game for me and you to play, because this was both very much like our childhoods.
Yeah, exactly.
So we both just fucking, like, know everything about this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily, I'm not going to be able to, like, do it all the first try, but in theory, I'm pretty sure I know all the ins and outs of this game.
Yeah.
I know how to get to Star Road, I know where all, you know, all the little secrets are.
All this secrets.
I especially love the bonus level area where each level is named after, like, a synonym for cool from the 90s.
Yep.
Like, Mondo.
Mondo.
Tubular. Is there a radical? Is one of them radical? It should be. Actually, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is, but you're right, it totally should be.
I remember that one of them is way cool.
Is it really?
Yeah, way cool.
Get the fuck out.
I am fairly certain. I am like 99.9.
Fuck it, I got
999% certain that there's an episode named Way Cool and level named
No,
Way
come
Cool.
back,
No, Yoshi. No, Yoshi, no!
No!
Well, at least he lived instead of turning into a coin.
That's a lot of 9 to 999%.
Well, I'm pretty fucking sure, but I, as a rule, tend not to speak in absolutes, because that's usually when I end up being wrong, and then I look like an idiot.
In the words of my 7th grade life science teacher, don't assume. It makes an ass out of you and me.
True story. Yeah, it's like any time that I've ever confidently, like, felt like I'm right, like, I'm always wrong. So, I don't know.
Well, welcome to my world.
Exactly.
I talk about this all the time, like when I was in school, did not matter. If I took a test, every single question that I knew the answer to, I fucking got it. Every single time. Whenever there was the one question that I wasn't entirely sure on that I guessed, I was always wrong!
A slight moment of doubt. So I've actually got an amazing thing to bring up, and this was like a perfect segue into it. Like, I wasn't even sure if it was going to organically happen tonight. But, Brandon, have you heard of the Mandela effect?
Yes.
How do you feel about it? Because I think it's a load of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was really excited about it for a little while. Okay, so, like, the other night at, like, 3 in the morning, I was reading up on it. And, you know, it was, like, 3 in the morning, and, like, I'd probably, knowing me, like, I probably had, like, a beer or two. I think I was, like, doing my own at-home Undertale play just to, you know, get my rocks off on that. And I was taking a break, and I saw something about how in the Disney Snow White movie, when the Queen talks to the mirror, colloquially, what do we all say when the Wicked Queen talks to the mirror? She says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall." In the Disney movie, she says, "Magic mirror on the wall." And of course, the comment section of that YouTube video, of the clip that I looked at, is full of people going like, "Oh, Mandela effect." Okay, let me back up a second as I hand the controller over. To anyone who does not know, the Mandela effect is a I guess it's best described as a thought experiment.
Yes.
During, I want to say, I guess it was the 80s, maybe early 90s when Nelson Mandela was in prison. Well, when he was released. Oh, God. If I wish I had the internet in front of me right now. Regardless, Nelson Mandela was in prison for a long time, was eventually released. Rad-ass fucking dude, accomplished a lot, but a significant number of people apparently remembered hearing at some point or another that he never got released from jail and in fact died in jail. And enough people have this, quote, memory that there is a theory, a thought experiment out there that I'm cracking up as I'm about to say this. And I'm not trying to disrespect anyone who believes in it. Like, I'm in no way trying to make anyone feel bad. But I'll get...
trying to make you feel bad.
No. Well, I will say there is something that definitely makes me go like, whoa, really? When I heard just how many people were under the assumption that he had died, because it is a significant amount. But the theory is that for whatever reason, time has been, like, fucked with. Like, man-made time travel has inadvertently splintered/altered reality, and now we have people with mixed memories, people who have perhaps somehow traveled into our timeline. And from their timeline, Nelson Mandela died in jail. Oh, shit, sorry. I'm wandering away from where I need to go. So, other examples...
I have an interesting story that kind of follows the same principle.
Yeah, go for it.
Have you ever heard of the Pirates Cove theory? The skeleton, like, everybody screaming episode that, like, was utterly terrifying.
I suppose not. You'll have to enlighten me.
So basically, it's a kids show that was supposed to have been around in the late 80s, early 90s, and it was called Pirates Cove. And there was like a pirate and a skeleton and a bunch of other like people, and they were all puppets. And there was a little girl. For the life of me, I can't think of this little girl's name.
I lived during the 80s, and this isn't ringing a bell, but yes, go on.
But there's like this screaming bit where everybody screams in this Jan. The little girl's name is Jan.
Like Pee-wee's Playhouse, where they're like, ah!
Yeah, like they all start screaming, and she just like starts crying, and everyone remembers it being this really traumatic thing as a kid that just like scarred them forever. And everybody talks about Pirates Cove.
Okay.
And people swear up and down in all kinds of forums and crazy shit that like, oh, Pirate Cove, it was real. Like, we're like legitimately, like, people are talking about other episodes that they swore that they saw of Pirates Cove and that these people existed. But you can look at any television record that's ever existed from that period of time. Pirates Cove was never a real show.
Oh,
it never existed.
See, I like that. Like, I like that kind of stuff. And so yeah, when I read about, sorry, was there more?
No, that was it.
Okay.
But that was basically my my take on the Mandela effect.
Yeah, no,
that was like all these people really like honestly believed that this was a real thing, but they kind of tricked themselves into thinking it was real, kind of jumping on the bandwagon kind of feel.
Yeah, and again, I can't reiterate enough that I'm in no way like trying to harp on someone who has a strong feeling or like really, feels legit about their memory. But the more I've read about these like quote examples of like other examples of the Mandela effect are things that I'm just like, wait a minute. Like, in Star Wars, spoilers, but in Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, whenever people quote the line, what people say is, Luke, I am your father, but that's not the line from the movie. The line is, no, I am your father, because he's saying that in response to Luke saying, you killed my father.
Yeah, no, I am your father.
Yeah, so as a dialogue, that makes a lot more sense, and I think is more impactful, but when people just quote the scene, they say Luke so that we know who they're talking to, and it's like everyone knows what they're talking about. So that has been brought up as an example, and I'm like,
that's a perfect example, because everyone's like, Luke, I am your father. But that wasn't actually what was said.
Yeah, and that movie, when that was a spoiler initially, was long before the easily accessible internet. I mean,
Yeah, when now you can just be like,
You can whip
I
out
don't
your
think
phone.
that's true, and you
Yeah.
just Google it and make your friend look like
You
a
can
fucking
bring
idiot.
up the scene on YouTube on the tiny miracle computer that you keep in your pocket, whereas in the fucking
that radiates your balls.
Well,
if you have balls. If you don't have balls, then it radiates other things.
your boo. So your hoo-ha.
Your hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Cervix.
Oh god, wrong game.
Reference to other game.
So yeah, it's like the Mandela effect in that regard to me is just like people being incredibly stubbornly wrong about something, and it's like, I'm not remembering this incorrectly. Someone has fucked with the space-time continuum.
Yeah, like,
and I'm still right. I'm just from a different dimension where what I remember is real.
And that's kind of like the crazy thing that everybody, like, introspective Scientologists, they typically believe that the multi-worlds theory, like, actually exists. Like, it's a real thing. That there is the possibility of multiple worlds of the same people.
Infinite possibilities.
Infinite possibilities.
Like
it's the belief that every single decision you've ever made in your entire life for every single living person in the world has another result. And that other result exists as an entirely another universe that exists correspondingly with the one that we're currently experiencing in this moment. This morning, when I woke up and took a shit, there was another Brandon in another universe that woke up this morning and didn't take a shit.
Yeah.
And his day ended up being different in some way, shape, or form, because he didn't take a dump.
You might have pooped on the way to work.
Yeah.
That would drastically alter your day.
Maybe I was like, I kind of have to poop. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. And then other Brandon, just on the way to work, just shit all over himself.
I beat the castle, by the way.
Yeah.
While we were talking about you pooping your pants. In an alternate dimension.
In an alternate dimension. But yeah, that's another thing that, like, kind of solidifies that, but we'll get into it more in the next episode. So we're getting very very deep.
For a first episode of a playthrough, this went from casual to serious as shit.
Yeah, but like psychology is my shit. Like I'm super into that thing, and I sometimes feel bad because I'm very good at profiling people. So I look at people and I know things about them personally just by looking at them that I shouldn't, just because I know how to read their body language and certain aspects about their existence of, like, just how they live and their mannerisms and whatnot that kind of shows through. So there's some people that they'll walk up to me and be like, especially the frame of work that I'm in, they'll be like, oh, look at the cute couple sitting over there at the table. Oh yeah, they're adorable with their fact that they absolutely have no communication with each other nor show any signs of affection, and how that guy's literally on his cell phone the entire time because he's completely uninterested in her anymore. You're
like Sherlock, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, like on the BBC. Have you seen that?
I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never actually watched it.
It's good. Anyway, next time!
Next time! we'll talk about more introspective shit.
Jesus Christ, we'll see you next time. Bye.